I wanted to end the day on a high note and have a good video here, hopefully. That's why I got my robe on. You know I'm serious if I'm in my robe. This isn't luxury. This is my suit, basically. And I want to talk about the unexpected gifts of my bipolar disorder and what it has done for me personally in a positive light. Um, because even before I knew I had it, my father had committed suicide when I was about 16 before school one morning, which is, the only time I can assume it started if you're not born with it. I'm not really sure. I don't think anybody else is either. But when you go through a trauma like that and end up with PTSD, it definitely has some influence. And I think there were some things later on that led to it more so. But it made me realize that life is about balance and that there's too much of a good thing and there's not enough of a good thing. There's too much of a bad thing and there's not enough of a bad thing. It's all perspective, really, where you're standing and where you need to be, and it takes us as people to mature beyond our emotions, to rise above ourselves and our knowledge or our lack of knowledge, and be able to grow into these things. That's why there's legal ages for everything, because once you grow into what you should be at a certain point, you learn to stop and look at life. And I just hope it's not too late for me, and I don't want it to be too late for anybody else. But it's also given me, I know for a fact God is real because of some of the things that I've seen and experienced while on bipolar. That was a personal experience for me, that I've seen all sorts of fancy things and witnessed beautiful unspeakable things. One time I was thinking real hard in my kitchen one time, and after I got done thinking, you know how you lose track of space and time, I looked up and all 5 of my animals were sitting there staring at me and followed me around the whole house for the next 10 or 15 minutes until I actually separated myself from them. So, I know or believe that we are somewhat psychic and we do have that ability in us and that we're evolving towards that, but we just aren't mature enough as people to be responsible enough to have that unfettered access, because we would all end up killing each other. Just like we're never going to have a time machine, because the first one of us that gets drunk and drives to the end of time and kills us all is a real dick. And that's how I feel about that. We're not being allowed to have things we cannot use or should not use or aren't responsible enough to use. God is not going to allow that. And if it wasn't for my bipolar, I wouldn't know that. So these couple of things I just wanted to put out loud, and there's plenty more I could speak on, but I didn't take the time to write anything down and whatnot. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you could like and subscribe, and we'll see where we can take this, you guys. Thank you.